We are here at Circular DCSO hosting another episode, and this time it's going to be on cybersecurity careers. And with me is a special guest, Shweta Joshi from the ISC2 Pune Chapter. She's responsible for training and development. She's a very energetic, enterprising lady. She's got several certifications, and I'm not going to name everything, but specifically, I would like to mention she's got the ISC2's gold standard CISSP, CCSP, and she's also undergone training on AI-related certifications. She's got her cloud certifications with AWS and with Google and various other certifications. So she counts over more than 15 years of experience. And I'm excited to have you, Shweta, to have this conversation about cybersecurity careers. And all of us started the right way or the wrong way. But today, people are talking about what is your career aspirations, right? So I just want to turn the clock back and ask you, go back 15 years, and if you had a career map, how much did you get it right?
First of all, thank you so much, Sujit, for such a lovely introduction. And it's great to be part of ISC2. Um, so, answering your question, uh, if I turn the clock back 15 years, I would say I mean, before a decade or more than it, I had actually no career path as such because I come from a development background. So, when I wanted to move to security, I had to switch a lot of domains. So, from security to forensics to network security support, and then the actual career my started in the cybersecurity field. So, uh, yeah, I think that's the biggest advantage for today's generation. They have the roadmap ready, they have the certification map ready, and they have the people to guide them.
Excellent. So I got the right person to talk about careers today. Somebody who started, but then adopted along the way to pursue a career in cybersecurity. So let's start with the basics. And then in our second episode, we will get to the depth of it. Right? If somebody's planning to pursue a career in cybersecurity today, how would you guide them?
Yeah. So today I see the security market is expanding a lot. There are lots of opportunities for the people to grow in terms of technical knowledge, in terms of certification, in terms of experience. I would categorize it into broadly four areas. So the first would be the technical thing. If you would like to break into something, it's a offensive security part. The next would be the defensive part, where the people usually, try to analyze, try to prevent, try to mitigate the attacks. The third would be the people who are doing the security architecture or the security engineering part. And the fourth would be the people who are into governance part, governance, risk, and compliance. Um, so mostly designing the security policies, implementation of the security policies, adopting to the governance models and everything. Yes.
So you're talking about four families, but do people really talk about it, or what is the myth? What is the myth we always hear?
Yeah. So mostly the people who are freshers, who are yet to uh, get their hands on, get the practical knowledge and try to understand the security industry. The myth, the most common myth is that we need to be technical, we need to be like a penetration tester or a hacker to get into the security field. But that is not true. There are so many various disciplines that security follows. and it's very vast. I mean, it's the technical thing is just one part of it, but there are so many aspects for security in each of the domains.
Absolutely. And the myth I would demystify is always people think that you need to be a hacker or a hard coder to the work in the field.
Yes.
And most roles aren't about GRC. If you take GRC, it's mostly to do about communication and structured thinking.
Yeah.
And then we have cloud as well, cloud security. And that's about configuration and process. I'd like
Yes.
to underline the word process.
Yes.
And most of the time people think the hoodie in the dark room image covers maybe one family out of four.
Yes.
So that's one thing. Like, a person sitting with a hoodie is predominantly depicted as the hacker, and
Yeah.
they need to be a hacker. So hacking is not everything about security.
Yes.
It is only
Yes.
one element. And I think that's a point which you're trying to highlight here, Shweta.
Yes.
So moving on. I mean, let's look at the traditional map. So when we look at the GRC, the SOC, the red team, AppSec, cloud, DFIR, then we talk about architecture. How does the market see it today? Do they still hire people under these specific headlines, or has it changed?
The hiring strategy has changed a lot depending on the positions or the type of work that is coming for the new people. So let's say before 8 to 10 years, there were positions for especially which were focusing on endpoint security, like antivirus security engineer or the people who configure firewall security policies. So that those kind of jobs are completely merged into some different types of profiles. Those are replaced by a lot of changes and lot of profiles that are modified now, and they are no uh, actually. So let's say taking example of firewall engineer, that is completely taken care by WAF, that is completely taken care by network security solutions, something like SIM, SOAR, and then there are XDR, MDR tools also. So the same case is with the SOC engineers. The SOC engineer has been taken care by the threat detection engineer, which is now, if you see the hiring, uh, there is a position named as threat detection engineer. So there are so many changes that are coming to the market, and this is not something which is fixed. By the next few years, it will keep on changing.
I agree with you. And I'm also seeing cloud security has gone way ahead, right? I
Yes.
mean, people are moving to the cloud. But on the other hand, there are people also thinking, okay, we still need to run on-prem, right? So there are two sets of thoughts. One, okay, we go 100% cloud. Some people say, hey, not everything in the cloud, but we still have everything on the ground.
Yeah.
Whichever ways, and I think everyone, you, me, and our peers across the world, all what we are saying is we need to have security bolted into the process, not at the end of the tunnel,
Yes.
but right at the beginning. We are talking
Yeah.
about shift left and ensure it is built into the process or to the pipeline. And then the other thing, which I also feel everything is centered around identity. It used to be a footnote in the past. Typically,
Yeah.
when we talk about the network
Yeah.
security, people said, okay, identity is one of them. But today, identity is the core of everything. We talk about the
Yes.
humans, we talk about the non-humans, and when we talk about non-humans, typically we spoke only about service accounts or anything related to that. Now
Yeah.
we have the agents, the
Yeah.
agentic AI, right? So we need to assign an identity to that, and we also need to regulate and govern it.
Yeah.
So arguably, in its own categories, we are seeing breaches happening in each of those places as well. So what is coming out is that you can't be one specific domain centric, but you need to take a holistic approach, right? And I think you and I agree on that, that while we have all these pillars like GRC, Socrates team, blah blah blah, but all of them have to be like in a choir. Everybody has to sing together so that we have a harmonious melody coming out, like the A.R. Rahman's music. Right. So moving on. If you look at the older career map, most of us, we have evolved over a period of time. What is the biggest thing missing in someone's old career map? What is your view on that?
Yeah, so right now, to work in the current security industry, I think uh, we don't need to concentrate on a single skill. So let's say I'm doing application security only, then the career path narrows down after a few years. So if you learn along with application security, if you can do the source code review, if you can work in DevSecOps, which is for the cloud front, so it would actually enhance your opportunities to work in different fields, and it would give you more opportunities to enhance your career. uh, Talking about the traditional career paths, a lot of them have been replaced. So let's say, like I mentioned, the SOC thing is replaced by threat detection. Apart from that, we have the DevSecOps profile comings, because people require the people who are, the companies require people who are especially uh, skilled in DevSecOps. The same with AI. So we have the requirement of people who are working in AI governance or the security assessment of the AI platforms, AI applications, and so on. So I think as and when the technology enhances itself, the security should be enhancing itself. So we are doing that. I mean, if you see, uh, when the cloud came, we have the DevSecOps uh, field for security that was coming, and people started upgrading themselves. Now for the cloud itself, we have the Kubernetes or the container security people who are working in that specific discipline. There is a data privacy and compliance for the cloud especially, so there are a few people who are working in the same, in that particular discipline. So I think for AI also, if you want to work in that particular AI, not only securing the AI, but you have to understand the technology itself. So I need to understand AI from the basics, and then I can apply the security policies on that. So there are many job roles you will see, those are coming up with the technology advancements.
Right. I'm glad you touched on AI. I keep hearing this conversation in all the places. There is not a single conference which does not have anybody talking about AI.
Yes.
And there's also this notion AI will take your job. For me, that's a lazy version of the conversation. So what we need to be conscious is AI security as a discipline. Like earlier we talked
Yes.
about antivirus, firewalls, OS security, app
Yes.
security, and so on and so forth. AI security as a discipline. That's what I believe it should be. And then we are talking about testing AI systems. Now, AI is also a product.
Yeah.
So you may be having a bot, it may be part of a decision-making process, or it might be doing things which routinely done, like mundane tasks. Now, for example,
Yeah.
you did mention about the SOC, the
Yes.
level 1 analyst role.
Yeah.
Triaging was earlier done by a human.
Yeah. Yes.
That today that portion is being handled by a smart, intelligent system
Yeah.
where it does the triaging and gives you the output saying, hey, I have identified this as a risk. And if you have said, okay, go ahead and treat it, the soul kicks in.
Yes.
It will go ahead and block it or isolate it. Then the humans will get involved
Yeah.
if required to
Yes.
do further analysis and take the necessary action. We always keep talking about the prompt. I mean, we talk about SQL injection in
Yeah.
the traditional
Yes.
application testing.
Relational databases. Yeah. Yeah.
Absolutely. And in today's context, with AI in the play, we are talking about prompt injection. We also talk about data leakage in the traditional conversations, but in systems where AI is infused or embedded, that can also leak data if somebody is able to do a prompt injection.
Absolutely.
Right. So the conversation is more on the governance side of it. How do you build guardrails? How
Yeah.
do you ensure the system is doing what you are expecting it to do?
Yes.
Or if it is doing something which is not supposed to do, how
Mm.
quickly would you know about it? You mentioned about the pipelines. How do you secure them
Yeah.
through, using models? So what was not a job 3 years ago has now become a job. I mean, I had this conversation with a couple of students, and they said,
Mm.
"Sir, we are not getting any internships. People are not hiring us." They were very critical about the organizations.
Mhm.
So I was telling them, okay, you can't blame the organizations.
Yes.
You need to ask yourself, are you adopting and upgrading yourself to meet the needs of the industry?
Yes.
Because there are things the organization would do to train you, but you can't expect the organization to become another university where they continuously train you. And then when you
Yeah.
get trained, then you would leave them and go somewhere else. So that's a challenge. So going back to your question, you said some jobs have got replaced, but I think they have disappeared or probably taken a different form, and new jobs also have come into play.
Yes.
So I want you to talk about compliance. And you do a lot of compliance related work. So what do you see as opportunities in that space today?
Yeah, absolutely. So for compliance, earlier it was only ISO 27001. There were various disciplines in ISO 27001. The organizations used to follow that particular standard for years and years. Now, the major change that has happened is uh, the countries are coming up with their own regulations. So let's say for European region, there is a GDPR law which takes care of the data privacy and security. For America region, there is a FedRAM. There are various security regulations that are applied from various regions, and that we need to take care. Why? Because we are now. India is now dealing with. They are collaborating with various nations. It's not only we are making business in India itself. So if you are working with an organization from European region, from America region, from any other region, you have to follow their rules and regulations, especially with the data security and compliance. So it's not now limited to ISO. We have to delve into various types of compliance and regulations things, especially for the financial institutions. It's becoming very mandatory that security must be uh, adopted, and that they have to show the proof. They have to make themselves compliant and make the changes in this technology itself. It's not, when we talk about compliance, it's not about only the policies and the governance thing. It actually implements everything onto the technical part. If your product is secure, if your product is compliant, then you are ready to go ahead with the compliance. So I
And
think yeah.
sorry, Shweta. And also, I think the compliance landscape is also rapidly changing. We are not talking about a point in time compliance. We are talking
Yes.
about continuous compliance, right?
Yes.
So with that, I just want to ask you one last question for this episode, and then we come back and talk a lot more in these topics in the
Sure.
next episode. What exists now which did not exist 5 years ago? So, what jobs have come into play
Mhm.
which was not even thought about 5 years ago?
Uh, yeah, so for AI, there are AI threat detection engineers or AI governance uh, or AI security engineers. These are the jobs. Then for cloud, it's Kubernetes security, container security engineers. There is one more thing for data privacy engineers that takes care of data handling and privacy assessments. Apart from that, people who are not only working on the tools, but they are actually doing the threat detections on the network layer. So I think there are lots of jobs that have no changed since the technology has evolved. And that's actually the beauty of technology. As soon as you get the new technology, you have the various opportunities to work in security.
So the key point is able to adopt, able to
Yes.
change, right? So
Yes.
you've got to be agile. One thing what comes to my mind as a takeaway is the geopolitics and uncertainty also has introduced third-party risk or supply risk.
Yes.
It used to be there as a line item, but today
Yeah.
it is evolved into a domain where a lot of attention is placed on that specific subject.
Yes.
So, Shweta, thank you so much. So, the key takeaway for me is that we need to be agile. We need to see what is happening in the industry, what new technologies are coming into play, and how each of those technology would transform one's life as well as the professional career. So, as long as you are able to adopt and be agile, nobody's going to stop. Sky is the
Yeah.
limit for you. So, there aren't old jobs with new names. All what we require is different skills which we have to learn and adopt. So, with
Yes.
that note, audience, please share your comments and let us know what you would like us to discuss going forward. So, send me a email, a comment, or when you meet somewhere, you can tell me, or you call me and tell me what you'd like us to do. And those of you who are not following us, please click the like button, follow us, and we look forward to having you in your network. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Sujit, for having me. Thank you so much.